I think the biggest thing was really small details that they did. They made some adjustments. They were rimming pucks all night, trying to put it down our throat from the weak side on that rim to create contact. And we had a game plan to come out against it, on how to break out against that. That forced a lot of contact situations, which opened up what they already do very well, and grit and skate and compete. And they try to wear teams down with that mentality sometimes on a second night on the road. We prepared for it and talked about it, but we had to answer a bell to it because we gave up some chances tonight that were strictly compete situations.
Yeah, just give me your thoughts on how Blake did tonight and this weekend in general.
I thought Blake was excellent. I think he was just stopping pucks. He was clean. He was making saves. It was really just through the traffic. They create a lot of traffic into box out situations where you got to clear them out into a block by a player, and when they go low to high, and then they hunt pucks right off of that block, whether it's a ricochet or to the corner, and they race you, and they win 50-50s races, and then they come out of it, and then they do it again, and they do it again, and they're really good at it, and they're a well-conditioned team. I thought Blake was outstanding. I thought he was the difference in the weekend, ultimately, for us to even be in the situation that we were in tonight, to where it was, on the scoreboard, it was close, but in terms of if you were to study some battle situations, we had a hard time containing that and winning those. And I think special teams certainly could be the difference there as well, where we scored last night on the power play. We didn't tonight. We had a 5-on-3. If we score there, it's a hockey game to where anything can happen.
You guys did a good job of holding Minnesota State to one-shot possessions. They were able to get a shot, but they had a hard time getting second-chance opportunities in the first period. Do you think the penalties just contributed to them getting more pressure in the second period?
Yeah, I think in terms of our penalties, I think some of those guys that play a lot on the penalty kill, it's a lot of energy, it's a lot of commitment, it's a lot of heart. And I was really overall happy with the effort on the kill, to where we were attempting to block shots, sprint to loose pucks, and get those clears. And then, I think when you kill a lot, it wears out players that play all situations energy-wise. But I think with that 5-minute major was one example. We've had 2 of them now in the last 2 games. But I thought the effort was there, but it wears guys down. And I think the one thing about the second chances is our guys really collapsed hard to where those second chances weren't available. And I think Blake was a big reason for that, just on where he put pucks off the rebound. But I think they just kept winning races, and they kept getting it back over time, and it just wears you down, and you have to match that. You have to match that to beat teams like Mankato.
Yeah, the Mavs had 37 shots tonight, but only 4 in the third period. What adjustments did you guys make for that third?
Well, I think the 5-on-3 adjustment was just by happen chance, opened the door for guys to actually get some space that they weren't getting. And so that created some chances on the power play from a 5-on-3 to the 5-on-4. And then I think then we had a couple shifts where we actually had some ozone play time where we took on checks. And some guys don't play on the power play. They got rested, and that opened doors for them to get out there and get active and play. And I think so we had a few shifts where we actually created some chances after the power play, but it wasn't enough to put it in the net and to put us in a situation where it was a 1-goal game, because when you're in those situations, anything can happen with 3 minutes to go, and we didn't get to that point where we could accomplish that. But certainly that 5-on-3 gave us a chance to actually create some space and get some chances.
Going off of conditioning here, we're on game number 4 now this season. You're going to be playing 5 and 6 next weekend against Bemidji. We've kind of seen not necessarily a collapse, but a slowdown in game 2 when you get to the second half of both weekends here. Do you think that's just players still trying to get their legs here at the beginning of the season, or do you think that the conditioning would be an actual issue here yet?
Well, I think there's practice conditioning and there's game conditioning, and when you play teams that play physical, it wears you down beyond just playing fast. So there's fast and then there's physical. And so when you play a team like Mankato and like Bemidji next weekend who play fast and physical, it's a major part of their game plan. You got to be ready to face that. And so I think some guys have had to adjust to that, and it's getting to game shape, which is hard to do only in practice. But we do that through compete drills. We do that through all kinds of drills that create down and back where it's 200-foot skates and it's competition and all the different things you do. We got to keep working at it. We got to build off that to get to be prepared to play a full 60 minutes with the same energy level that's needed at the first period into the second and third.
In addition, Brett Thorne's been looking really good for his first 4 games here. Do you think he's ready to finally just kind of stick that everyday player spot here, or do you think he's still working his way up?
I think Brett is establishing himself to be a top defenseman at his age in the league as a freshman. I think he's making plays. He moves pucks clean. He's got poise. He's got toughness, and certainly he's getting a lot of minutes on the ice. Expected a lot out of him early in his career as a Husky, and he's embracing it, and I think he's growing. I think it's going to be something that over time we're going to be very impressed with his development, and he's got a big heart. He just wants to win, and he wants to make a play, and he wants to do it right. There's nothing in him that thinks otherwise, and that's why he's getting the opportunities to play more and more because of his effectiveness and his efficiency, but also the commitment he has made so far that we've seen through practice and in his performances in games.